Hey, beautiful people, how are you? I hope you guys are well. Well, I do have content coming. I know you're like, Dr. Elisa, what are you talking about? You don't even upload content. Well, I don't, because I think creating content is an art. In fact, it's actually a science and an art, and it's actually a business. So I'm trying to be very intentional around the things that I do upload. And, I was doing lives. And so, but I really want to focus a lot more on the Ask Dr. Lisa and Dr. Lisa's world, because I am now accepting insurance through a platform called Headway, and I will leave that information in my bio or in the link to this video. But I just want to jump on really quickly because a lot has been on my mind, and I do have a video coming around the whole yay situation, but that's a whole nother story. I've been because I am in the content creating community now, I've been looking at a lot of content, and shout out to all the content creators. You guys are amazing, and the amount of effort that goes into creating content, I can only say shout outs to you. It does really take time, dedication, and commitment. But one of the things that has been a little concerning for me is that I've noticed that a lot of urban, and when I say urban, I mean brothers of color, Black brothers, African American brothers, and for the most part, are always going back and forth with one another around so many sort of urban issues. And many of them have points, and they do raise really good sort of commentary around it, and sort of their perspective, and I appreciate that. But what's concerning me is that all I see is a lot of back and forth and bickering and arguing and cursing. And, I'm a bit tired of hearing us being referred to as the N-word and the B-word. And I often wonder what the world would be like if we stop using such foul language. The other thing is, if we stop fighting over the crumbs that are left in the bread basket, right? And so YouTube has become like the bread basket, and many of us feel like we can really earn a good living from, YouTube. And maybe that's the case. I don't really know. I've always looked at YouTube as almost like an advertisement space, if you will, and a space to kind of speak to your business. So if you have a business outside of YouTube, or you have a something that you do, you kind of promote it here, or you have an expertise or knowledge or information that you want to get, really feed to the masses, you use the YouTube space and sort of, adhere to their rules and their regulations and their policies. It almost feels like you sign your life away. Or agree to everything else, you can't use the platform. But, it is really interesting that we have this constant back and forth. And I always think, like, if we were able to really come together and use that mindset in order to really get a return, like changing our mental mindset, our mindset around just our culture, our values, our our behaviors, the things that matter, the return would be so great. Our children would have so much to look forward to. The big thing is always, oh, we're trying to build generational wealth, and everyone's building generational wealth. And I believe that's really in respect to, or with respect to, currency, or property and that kind of thing. Whatever currency will look like 50 years from now, we're trying to build that wealth for our children. But you can't keep money if you don't have a wealthy mindset. A wealthy mindset, a set of values, a set of principles, a set of behaviors that guide your community. And for every argument or dysfunction that we lift, and I almost feel like we're glamorizing kind of being in gangs and doing this and doing that. None of that money circulates back into our community. Even when you think about where prisons are built in our country, it's usually in areas where other people have an employment source. So even in that, been getting arrested and all that kind of stuff, someone else is eating off of that. The black dollar hardly circulates in the black community less than one time, because we don't spend with one another. Like, we use major platforms pretty much to purchase everything. And maybe we have a black vendor or minority owned business, and I'm speaking particularly black and brown people that we shop with from time to time, because Amazon can be there's some anonymity associated with Amazon, so you don't always know who you're purchasing from. But the fact of the matter is, we need to be much more intentional in how we approach life, and how we approach our community, and how we approach thinking about what we really want to leave our children. Because with all due respect, at the rate that we're going, we're not going to have much to leave them, nor are they going to be prepared to handle any kind of generational wealth that's left to them, because the mindset has to change. And if those who believe, oh, because I live in a good community, or I do this or I do that, you're not exempt from your children being exposed to the same, deficits that are in our community. So let's not just, put people in a space because we think that's a issue for poor people. Because if you know anything, rich children also get a hold of drugs, and get a hold of bad behaviors and habits. So let's not pigeonhole the dysfunction, but we must be very intentional in our approach in supporting our young people, so that they really do have a fighting chance. Because at the rate that we're going, we're not showing them values. We're not showing them respect. We're not showing them what dignity looks like. Like, we need to go back to pre-slavery, because what you was created into in America through the slave trade is not who you really are. What's in your DNA is kings and queens and a majestic sort of, existence. So you come from a very, very dignified group of people. In fact, Africa is the word means the land of plenty. So many people depend on Africa for all their natural resources. They feed the globe almost. So you come from a really awesome place, even if you have no connection to that place, and you need to start acting like it. I'm just so disappointed, and I really do love my people, and I hope that, we can get past this constant fighting, because they leave the crumbs for us to fight amongst each other to try to, see what we can get. But YouTube is not that place. I mean, if you have 10,000 views or 5,000, it's really, at the end of the day, it's like any other business. You really have to work hard to really build up that kind of following, and to generate the kind of money that that you hope to retire on. So, and also, speaking about content creators, right? Like, YouTube doesn't have insurance, right, for its content creators. It doesn't have, a retirement portfolio for you. So these are all the things that you have to train your children, and you have to get for yourself if that's not your thing. And I'm not talking about other people. I'm just speaking about a community of content creators that I know our young people are listening to, and I really appreciate you guys, because you motivate me. But I also sometimes feel disappointed in some of the conversations, and I hope that you use and continue to use your platform for good and for building up our community, so that we can build a wealthy, generational wealthy mindset. Well, with that being said, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.